Demarshay Johnson Jr. is a 6'10 forward from Oakland, California, entering his junior season on the Mesa. Can you believe it's your fourth season at San Diego State?
I know, it's going by so fast.
How do you describe these 3 years, all the winning? What's the experience been like from your seat?
Really just, having a front row seat to all the greatness we've been a part of, and also being able to, contribute my part to it, even though it hasn't been always on the court, but, helping guys in practice get better, get used to, whatever offense or defense, whatever team we're going to play for is going to, throw at us.
Obviously, like any player, there's adversity, there's highs and lows,
right.
No matter the circumstance, probably no matter the team. And how would you describe this journey for yourself personally?
It was different. It's been different for me. Taking the back seat is, something I'm not really used to. I'm used to kind of being, the front runner or that guy on the team. But, taking a step back, learning, I feel like that's really helped me evolve my game as a thinker.
You must really embrace the team element of it, because you've been on a team, obviously, like you said, you haven't necessarily played the largest role when it comes to on court, but you've been a part of a winning culture. What does it mean to you to be associated with such a winning program?
It's been great to learn how to win. All the guys came before me has been giving me a lot of points on basically everything when it comes to school life, balancing, school and basketball, and just teach me everything they possibly could on the court.
How do you feel right now heading into your senior year?
I feel really good. I'm really ready. I'm ready to go. I feel like I'm ready to show the world what I can really do.
When you describe your game, because again, for some Aztec fans, they've seen it in spurts or bits and pieces. How do you describe your game?
I feel like I'm an all-around defender. I can guard 1 through 5, who can score when need be. Also an energy guy, catching lobs, blocking shots, scoring whenever needed. So I feel like I can do a lot of stuff on the court that people just haven't seen yet.
When you think back on some of the other forwards and centers you've surrounded yourself with over the last 3 years, what has that meant for the development of your game, being around Jaden, being around Nathan and others as you've developed your game as well?
Well, growing up, I was always the biggest guy on the court, and coming here was kind of like a culture shock in that area, going against guys bigger and a lot stronger than me. So getting used to that, taking that contact, really just getting my body used to playing against big guys.
Your recruitment was somewhat unique, and correct me if I'm wrong, because it was during that COVID period of time, right? When you were recruited, you hadn't visited San Diego State?
No, I've never been on a visit before.
So what made San Diego State the right fit for you at that time?
The location was right. I feel like I meshed with the coaches pretty well. I like the things that Coach Dust was saying and the culture that he brought. Like, our culture is defense, and that's the kind of the guy that I am. I love playing defense. That's one of my favorite things to do on the court.
In this world where there's so much movement, no matter the program, right? I mean, there's the transfer portal, there's name, image, and likeness. What has made this spot the right spot for you in the short term and in the long term as well, with you entering your 4th year?
Really, my development. I feel like the coaches really take time to develop each guy into their specific skill set, so that way they can flourish and grow. And I feel like the coaches have taken their time with me, teaching me the right things and giving me pointers on where, I might be struggling in.
This feels like the biggest team that San Diego State's had in forever. You just look at the sheer size of this team, 7-footers, 6'10", wide, tall.
Right.
What do you make of this group? This must be the biggest team that you've been a part of.
Yeah, it really is. I feel like we have a lot of great size, a lot of guys that can move really well for their size. I feel like it's going to be really hard to, get around us and score on us, really. And I feel like that's going to be a key contributing factor of us winning.
What's the dynamic like with your teammates? Because obviously everyone wants to get on the floor, but you also have to have a really good rapport as a group as well. So what's that dynamic like behind the scenes?
We're all pretty much brothers. We're all learning from each other, getting used to each other. It's a lot of new guys, so it's really just teaching points. I've been kind of given the role of leader in that way, trying to get the guys up to speed and what's required of us on the court, defensively and offensively.
Do you see it as a challenge or an opportunity that there's so many new faces on this team? The team overall, I would say, is a little bit younger than a traditional San Diego State team. How do you see what's to come here this season?
For me, in that leadership role has been not a challenge, but it's harder for me because I'm not that big of a talker. So coming out of my shell in that area is new to me, but I feel like, I'm growing into it and, embracing my role.
What have been your priorities this summer specifically?
My conditioning, staying in shape. That's really just staying on the court as long as I possibly can, because I do know that I can perform well at a high level. I just have to do it for a long period of time.
When you look at the other forwards and you see the potential of this group, what do you think of the group overall? Jared Coleman-Jones coming in, obviously Magoon's entering his second season. There's yourself. I mean, what do you think of the group overall?
The guys have a lot of potential. I feel like, Goon has a lot of potential being a 7-footer, can do pretty much anything. Jared being a strong bang guy could step out on the 3. And myself, can do pretty much, I feel like, a little bit of everything. I am getting my shot right, so I can space the floor out to, be another asset to my team. But I feel like everybody is bringing something to the court.
You're going to graduate this year with a college degree from San Diego State.
Right.
How important is that to you and your family, and what is your degree in?
My education has always been the most important thing to my family. I use basketball as a means to an end to get that education. But, I also do love playing basketball, so it's also my passion. So being able to balance those two things has been really big and important for me. And my degree is in interdisciplinary studies with a psychology, anthropology, and communications focus.
When you think about all the winning, and you've been front and center right there for it, whether it was the national championship game 2 years ago or the Sweet 16 this past year, is some of that surreal, or how do you describe that experience?
It feels like a fever dream, honestly, looking back on it. It was a great moment to be a part of, but it's also like a great example of what I'm aiming for and what I strive to, get back to.
And here you are, just the winning continues, and you're going back to the Sweet 16.
What does it take to play the defense that's required at San Diego State?
It takes great intensity, multiple efforts, covering for guys. We have a fixed mentality. We know that things are going to go wrong on the court. Not everything is perfect, but we can't give up on the play and just make those multiple efforts.
What's it been like to be at Viejas Arena for all these incredible moments? I mean, there have been some of the great moments in the history of the program have occurred over the last 3 years. What's that experience been like for you?
Pretty much surreal. The environment is crazy. The atmosphere is wild. I feel like our fans are really supporting us no matter what. Win or lose, they're always going to have our backs. And I feel like that togetherness between us and the fans is what brings the great atmosphere and the great culture in Viejas.
What kind of relationship have you established over these years with Brian Dutcher and his staff?
I feel like I've gotten really close to them. I see them as, great mentors and who I aspire to be like in life. With Coach Dutch, I feel like he's a great guy. He's always honest, has great integrity, and I feel like he's about the right things, and that's what I want to be about in my life too.
It just seems like when we're out at practice observing this team, it seems like a group that's really cohesive and gelling and generally gets along with each other. Mm-hmm. Did you feel that same vibe with this group?
Yes, I would. I feel like we're a lot closer now because we're all learning together. Previous years has been a lot of leadership, a lot of seniority, teaching the younger guys. So I feel like this cohesiveness that we have now is all just stemming from us growing together as a team.
Demarshay, I appreciate you doing it. Thanks for joining us.
No problem, man.